We've seen the rise of yaoi in the past decade, and so have the illustration of male characters. But shouldn't that push the whole community into drawing them instead of the pretty girls? Nope. But how does the artist, anime community, or even the society end up with this situation? Being into anime for 10 plus years, I've seen the word waifu from my start, and then the word husbando starting to get popular. If you ask any anime fan, they'll always have a waifu or best girl, even for the female fanbase. But when you ask about husbandos, trust me, the boys ain't gonna give you anything.
You are gay.
Even if you go onto Twitter, female images just perform so much better than the guys most of the time. So why is the algorithm being sexist? Truth is, woman has always been seen as a symbol of beauty and elegance. The average woman in a patriarchal society are judged by their appearance and social status, which makes them chase beauty standards. But with the aesthetic-based nature of art, you also won't see a pretty woman, while the less nice-looking ones could show up anytime by the power of money. Even nowadays, you rarely see those people portrayed in paintings. No one's gonna retreat that nor to preserve the drawings and paintings of those. But where does those beauty standards even came from? It ends up getting back to the biological difference where females with rounded hips and larger breasts are more likely to bear children, which ends up being a biologically reasonable source of those standards. Let's trace back a bit into the virtual realm. Wait, no, not that one where we're talking about the myths. Ancient Greek gods are always powerful, symbolizing war, thunder, death, but how about the goddess? They're so much more peaceful, farming, holding family up, literally beauty herself. Female-led society is not a thing in them, with the exception of a very attractive Amazons community. They even run the company itself in the book. But these myths just reinforces the stereotypical female being pretty, elegant, and nice. And even to this day, its influence still persists everywhere. Everything we mentioned formed our world nowadays, where let's be honest, an average female is easier to monetize their look than an average male. Yes, we're getting a lot more male representatives nowadays. So if you like them, or me, make sure to click the subscribe button below. And there's literally a Guna game for those characters. But it shouldn't be too surprising to say that the majority of people are still enjoying the girls much more than the boys. So does we artists. Especially with the algorithm pushing it because it just works. But so much for ancient history. It's literally the 21st century now. Is there anything stopping us from drawing boys? Honestly, yeah. The male section is always at the back of the clothing stores like H&M and Primark, and half the women's section's size. Yes, understandably, we don't need a lingerie section, but we still end up in the basement like you do if you have one. Clothing and fashion choices are so much more diverse for girls, but is there even variety in outfit for guys? Yes, you can always put your husbando in a maid outfit, but hear me out. Conventional range of male clothing is very narrow. We got t-shirts in 10 different colors and jackets, but when we look at the girls, there's yoga pants, skin ties, extravagant gothic dress, and maybe even with some spikes if you're a punk, or just emo. Not to mention we call a girl cool and independent if she wears men's clothes. But when it's the other way around?
Why are you gay? You are gay.
There's no equivalent of an lolita dress for guys. For male character design, it's just giving a lot less choices to dress an average male character up, and it ain't even that interesting most of the time. I mean, look at me. Or him. Link's outfit ain't that pretty or complicated. Okay, that one's an exception, but what does a cross-dressing guy lead us back to? Female character design. Clothing definitely ain't everything in character design, but how many things can we change? We have hairstyles and skin color where frankly everything is fair game, but if we can play with races, we could even add the pointy ears to make them elves. The male figures is often much more rigid compared to the female ones due to a lack of a simple parameter. You don't get the chest size slider. Female characters, fan servicing or not, are able to add actions and features depending on their chest sizes. It also helps create the modifiers for certain characters as the size shows the amount of milk it holds. Some other plot devices in comedy manga derives from it too, like swimming faster due to a streamlined figure, or easily tied and running slower with an extra weight. But is there even an equivalent slider for male? Don't say muscularity. That slider is on for female and it could definitely lead to a lot of great amazing character design. Also are also much harder to draw as an artist when you can only add the rigid form accurately after studying anatomy intensively. You need to know where exactly each muscle are. As for the male equivalent, the slider form is just not available, or even not even considered for boys, unless it's a yaoi or worse, a hair. But before we dive into a much riskier angle of the problem, make sure to click the subscribe button and its bell below if you enjoyed it, because YouTube does not like the discussion of this topic. To dive into this angle of the problem, the adult industry and sites are to blame for the popularity of female characters over male ones. Even in the age of comparatively equal gender rights, the majority of adult content consumers are still male, with the recent rise of female audience. It's just the unfortunate fact that female has been sexualized for centuries and there's no magic cure for the problem. And honestly, it's very weird to see male characters in the poses these female characters does. The male body just don't flow as nicely as the female ones, which also limits the artistic possibility for the majority of artists, along with a high skill requirement to do so. But how does that concern art and illustrations? These adult medias have a large portion of fan-made content, and most manga and character ends up on that side of the internet, which helps promote the character and manga more, creating a cycle that a manga with pretty girl often perform better due to this indirect advertisement, and with the popularity, the manga also feel these fan-made creations. It's just the way things are. But given the fact that I've ended up pregnant at the hand of a fellow artist, trust me, I know how it feels. Although the majority of anime features a lot of pretty female characters, they're all here for a reason, like the meek-looking, nerdy male protagonist who get bullied in class becoming the strongest whatever in another word. Great place for self-insertion, right? So if there's a reason for the girls, there's gonna be one for the boys. Is there stories that prefer guys over girls? In fact, yeah, the answer is also right next to us. It's the shonen when the protagonist keeps fighting and fighting and fighting, he doesn't even have time for the girls. Saitama is only interested in supermarket discount, not the girls. Nor is Goku, he's too busy fighting aliens. Sung Jin-woo don't need the girls to level up as well. This anime focus on the fight and action so much they just skip the whole romantic part of the characters, leading to a full focus on the fights, leveling and the shonen stuff. And guess what character fit fights the most? Male characters. And also in Yari. At the end of the day, the trend is just an objective reality and not a problem we need to solve. There's nothing better on female characters than the male ones. Rather than arguing with each other, it's better to just hate on AI artists all along. We artists are just drawing what we like and what we think is pretty, so if you like this video, make sure to leave a subscribe, but if you hate this method we are discussing now, I'd suggest you to just draw it yourself. After all, this so-called trend is not permanent and we can always change, one step at a time.
Fine. I'll do it myself.